Watch this video if you hate feeling confused about which resolution to pick as a beginner videographer. Hey, my name is Jen and I help people with all aspects of photography and videography, especially those family photographers that are ready to break into filmmaking. In this video, we'll talk about video resolution in comparison to photography resolution and exactly what you need to know for your video needs. Any links mentioned in this video will be in the description. So think about resolution in video the same ways you think about resolution in photography. It's the amount of detail that will be captured based on the number of pixels. When shopping for a camera for photos, you will likely consider the resolution as a selling point. It's the number of pixels that the sensor contains. For example, 24 megapixels, 36 megapixels, all the way up to 50 or 100 megapixels. These numbers are calculated by how many millions of pixels are present in the camera's sensor. Let's say that you have a sensor that is 6,240 pixels long by 4,160 pixels wide. The total pixels of the camera is 25,958,400 pixels. We'd also just call this 26 megapixels. The more megapixels, the more detail will be captured in your image, meaning the bigger print you can print off without it appearing pixelated. Side note, higher resolution does not automatically mean a clearer image. This also depends on factors such as focus, light availability, color, and more. So let's talk about resolution in video. Video is always a 16:9 aspect ratio. A full-frame camera has a 3:2 aspect ratio, so you can see on the diagram that the 16:9 ratio takes up a little bit less of the sensor than the full-frame camera resolution does. This is something that's good to know. You don't have to do anything. Your camera will automatically switch to 16:9 when you flip over to video. Resolution is calculated, similar to photography, by how many pixels long by how many pixels wide. For example, 720p is actually 1280 pixels by 720 pixels, which is a 16:9 ratio. 1080p is actually 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels, again 16:9 ratio. And 4K is 4096 pixels by 2160 pixels, again a 16:9 ratio. So if we think about that in terms of resolution, even when you're shooting 4K, the highest number of pixels that you're using is 8,847,360 pixels, or about 9 megapixels. Much smaller than when we think about quality resolution in a photo. Now that you understand how resolution is calculated, let's talk about how it relates to you and how you'll use it when shooting video. But before I do, go ahead and like this video, and in the comments, tell me what resolution you prefer for your still images. Choosing a resolution for your video will depend on a few factors. Technology has advanced enough where I don't recommend using 720p. The level of detail that gets captured with a 720p resolution is just not enough to keep up with today's technology, especially if somebody is going to be viewing this on a 4K capable screen. It'd be like choosing your 4 megapixel point and shoot that you used at the clubs in 2001 and then trying to print a 24 by 36 photo out of that. Not gonna work. And my miniskirt wearing drink in hand self is thankful for that. Okay, let's get back to resolution. When we're considering what to shoot, first of all, check what your camera is actually capable of shooting. Can it even shoot 4K? Does it only shoot up to 1080p? Refer to your camera's manual to find out, or just head to Google. The next thing to consider is your project. If your project is for social media or it's only going to ever be viewed on a small computer screen or a phone screen, 1080p is likely enough. Alternatively, choosing 4K will result in a crisper image, but your viewer must be watching on a 4K screen for this to be true. Also keep in mind that 4K footage is going to take up 4 times the space that 1080p footage does. Do you have enough storage for it? When I started filming family and brands 7 years ago, I shot everything in 1080p. At the time, it was more than enough for what my clients needed, but as technology has advanced, I have transitioned over to 4K for all client work. This doesn't mean that you absolutely have to for client work, but it is the direction the industry is moving, and I highly recommend, if you're going to be investing in a new camera, to get one that is 4K capable. As a family filmmaker, I want to make sure that 5 years from now, when my clients are viewing their family film on a for sure 4K screen, that it doesn't look like garbage. So that's why I'm choosing 4K at the moment. So let's say that you're brand new to video and you're just practicing. This is not client work. Just shoot 1080p. It's going to allow your clips to render quicker in post-processing, and it's going to save you precious time. On top of that, it's not going to eat up all of your storage by you having to store a whole bunch of clips that are just for practice. As your skills advance and you start taking client work, start practicing with 4K at that time. Now that you understand your choices for resolution, let's navigate to your camera's menu and set it up. What you're going to find is that each resolution is going to be paired with a number that says number FPS. What that stands for is frames per second. If you're not sure what that means, I recommend heading to this frames per second video to learn more. Before you go, be sure to subscribe to my channel and download my free Filmmaker's Preamble, which is going to be all of the settings that you need to know to set up your camera properly for success in video. See you next time.